12 minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. This, some of this is a little bit, some of these are more important than others. I'm a little troubled by 12 minutes for an audit, but that's, I mean, if that's what the body wants to do, then so be it. Any further discussion? Councilmember Arnold?
You want to make an exception for that one? And Mayor, can we make an exception for the audit presentation to
I'll second that.
15?
Yeah.
15?
We need
It
to have the
probably
discussion.
won't take that long, but just so we
15?
can, right.
Can we
Get
motion
the information.
Do I modify the motion that we limit all the workshop items, presentations to 12 minutes?
With
and
the
then-
exception.
With the exception of the audit presentation up to 20 minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Councilmember Carnes? Aye. Okay, thank you. That is unanimous. Ready for the audit presentation?
Good evening, Mayor Broom, City Council,
Broom.
City Manager Dr. Adediran. Good evening, my name is David Moore. I'm the audit supervisor from Banks Family White and Company. We're serving as the current external auditor for the City of College Park's 2024 audit. I'm here on behalf of our partner, who unfortunately had another prior engagement and was unable to move some scheduling items around, but I'm here on his behalf to read the formal letter that was sent to mayor and council. And then at the conclusion of the reading of the letter, any questions for me?
So, Mr. Moore, your plan is to read the letter we received today?
Yes.
Okay.
Dear City Manager Adediran, Mayor Broom, and City Council members, as the engagement partner responsible for the City of College Park's fiscal year 2024 audit, as the engagement partner responsible for this audit, I am writing to provide a current status update. This correspondence follows our previous updates and reflects the current state of the engagement as of today. At Banks Finley White and Company, we remain committed to completing a thorough and accurate audit that supports the city's mission of fiscal responsibility and transparency. However, at this stage, we are still waiting several critical documents and reconciliations that are essential for the audit completion. While we acknowledge the Finance Department's continual efforts, the volume and significance of these items require additional coordination and prioritization based on the current pace and outstanding information. We now anticipate completing the audit by May 31st, 2025, provided that all outstanding items are submitted in a timely manner. In the letter to you, Mayor and Council, there's a listing of the outstanding items that are needed to complete the audit. I don't want to waste your time and the council's time for reading all of those itemized items out. I will skip over to the next section of the letter. In addition to the outstanding documentation, we are actively working with the Finance Department to resolve some preliminary findings, which currently include, again, we are still in the process of auditing the city. These are not final findings, but these are preliminary what we have come to at this time. Executive level turnover during the fiscal year, staffing shortages and training gaps, segregation of duties issues, and inconsistencies with internal policy adherence. A more comprehensive listing of audit findings will be included in our final report and presented to City Council upon conclusion of the audit. As previously presented, our firm has extensive experience with major governments across the country. We have earned a strong professional reputation nationwide for quality and reliability in the public sector auditing. Our staff are thoroughly trained in the specific requirements of generally accepted auditing standards including audit objectives, procedures, and reporting standards. Moreover, our team possessed deep expertise in governmental accounting standard boards pronouncements and their practical application to local government, such as the City of College Park. I would like to take this opportunity to express that BFW is more than a vendor to the city. We are proud to have served the citizens of College Park for over 52 years as a minority-owned certified public accounting firm. We have maintained physical presence in the College Park community since 1984. We support and patronize local businesses, city events, giving back to the community that has supported us for decades. We cherish this opportunity to serve as your external auditor, and we view this engagement as a demonstration of the city's commitment to transparency, quality, and integrity in trusting one of your own to audit your books and records. We appreciate the trust placed in our firm and look forward to continue this important work together. Please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions, updates, or requests for the support addressing in the remaining items, again, respectively from the resident partner. And at this time, I am the manager who is overseeing the engagement. So if there's any questions that you would like to address to me, I am here to do so. Thank you, and I yield my time back.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Mayor Pro
ma'am.
Tem?
Yes, good evening, and thank you
Yes,
for
ma'am.
coming, and thank you for what you're doing here at the City of College Park. Can you give me an example? In the letter that you sent us, you mentioned
Yes, ma'am.
inconsistencies with internal policy adherence. Can you kind of give us an example of what you're finding, or what the
So,
situation
sure.
is?
So since there's been, as we all know, there's been significant transition and turnover in this department. In the policies and procedures that have been provided to us, there's certain, I would say, steps, protocols, procedures that need to happen. And based on what we've been working through currently, there's no evidence of that has been happening. For instance, there is not a soft close process that's being followed as indicated in the policy and procedure. Your new finance director is, again, trying to help us locate certain analysis and reconciliations that should have been identified and provided. So to the nature of why they haven't been provided, I would have to defer to your current finance director to give further explanation. So that's an example of certain things that we were expecting to see completed that should have been readily available. And since his onboarding, he is still trying to help us find or locate it. So as soon as information is being provided, we're trying our best to turn around and review and provide any follow-up or inquiry to management.
So basically, are you saying that some of these things that we're discussing were available to in the last audit, that you're not saying that you're being given? Or, I mean, was this the case? I know you've seen our
I don't know what the process or protocol was prior to Banks Finley coming on board. So to give you a clear answer on that, I would have to defer to Mr. Jackson and maybe come to the podium to see what he has discovered since being in the role.
Mr. Jackson, would you help us, please? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And I'm sorry, can you restate your question, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the letter, get my words right. One of the things that I found troubling when I received the letter today, or this weekend, whenever we got it, was inconsistencies with internal policy adherence. And I wanted to kind of get an example of what that might look like or sound like, or what's happening there. Are we not? Do you not have the information that you require in order to, so just let me know. I guess that's what I'm trying to understand. Yeah.
So right now, as I observe it, the city is lacking standard operating procedures for various tasks. So for example, creating certain or specific reconciliations procedures for those tasks do not exist. And so currently I am seeing scenarios where, for example, the auditor is asking for certain information that the city just does not have or has not done in the past.
Okay.
And I believe that in part that this is due to, one, this is a new auditor to the city. And so, there are some things that I believe that the city at some point will need to adapt and sign on to in order to be in compliance with GASB reporting moving forward. But that's where we are right now.
Okay, so it sounds like some of this are things that we just have not done in the
Correct,
past.
correct.
And with this new firm, for them to do a transparent, really coherent audit, that they are requiring us to come up to a standard that the city has not operated under in the past.
Correct.
Okay.
And with this audit, we're going to be looking for assistance from them to, give us some guidelines on what they'd like to see from the city moving forward, to give us like a basis of, what we need to do as a city as far as like performing like certain reconciliations and periodic reporting.
Which will help us in the long run.
Yes.
So basically what we're doing is we want to be better than we were before.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Arnold?
Okay, so I'm glad to hear that about the segregation, or, well, not glad, but understanding that that is an area where we can improve. I noticed also in the letter that there was something that with segregation of duties, which is always a concern, but can you give us a little more information on that one as well?
Speak.
So as part of the process of having sound standard operational procedures and sound accounting policies, procedure manual in place, in that you would have identified how to segregate the duties, right? So that no one person is either handling more than what they should be doing or handling too much or not enough, right? So that if one day whomever is sitting whatever that role is and they decide that today's my last day, well, with them leaving, there shouldn't be a true vacuum effect, as we call it, where all that historical institutional knowledge is gone. The policy and the procedure is in place so that whomever is brought in to replace them, right, or to fill that gap, there's a policy and a procedure that they can go to say, this is how in which you need to complete this task. This is how we're going to be able to still be able to complete the process so that we can close the books out for a monthly, quarter, or year-end close process. So that's kind of where that segregation of duties comes from. It's not just that, hey, you're worried about this one person doing too much. It's also to identify who should be doing what and when and the how.
And can you say where you may have seen more of this, where there are certain areas where you saw more, where we weren't, or where the segregation of duties were less effective than others? So
if for example, the finance director is gone, so whatever process or policies or procedures that she was following, or should be following, the evidence of that information has not been readily available. So that's an example of segregation of duties and making sure that whatever he or she is responsible for doing is documented the way it's supposed to, it's been reviewed where it's supposed to, is in a centralized location where it's supposed to, so that the level of segregation is evident in the process. So that now that it shouldn't matter if Mr. Jackson comes on board or if Banks Finley White has been brought on as the new external auditor, that whatever needs to be provided is readily available. So again, segregation of duties is a peel the onion approach, in my opinion, as to, again, not just the task, but everything that task is associated with that task. Does that make sense, or am I?
It does, but it also sounds like that there may be a gap with succession planning,
Yes.
right? More so than the segregation of duties. It
It's a
sounds like-
combination of
right,
all, right?
Like, we have no bench strength is what I'm hearing from you.
I would defer to.
Well, I would label it as a single point of failure.
I got that too.
So, for example, you have only one person that knows how to pay city bills. If that person leaves, then we have an issue. There's a failure there. We're not able to pay our bills.
Gotcha.
And so we have more of those type of situations. For example, the accounting manager that we have currently, she is doing a lot. She is involved in a lot. And so if she were to leave, that would be an example of a single point of failure.
Councilmember Gay?
Oh, a couple of things. We receive some type of recognition that each fiscal year our accounting was sound, and we got this award. I mean, since I've worked up here. So my question is, how are we able to be recognized as fiscally sound when those standard operating procedures, as you say, may not have existed?
So I believe, Councilman Gay, I think you're referring to the certificate of excellence from the, I can't remember the acronym right now. So as long as your audit, your ACFR is done in accordance with those standards and you have met all the required reporting, documentation, presentation, making sure that you're in accordance and adhering to the GASB standards, you still will get the certificate of excellence because your reporting is in accordance to what the standards say. It doesn't necessarily they don't come in and do a type of audit that we do. Their audit is more, their review is more in line with, are you doing proper financial reporting in accordance with the accounting standards as it relates to governmental entities? So that's the difference. Your external audit is where you'll come out with, these preliminary findings that we're bringing to your attention. That's more of a self-reporting. It's just part of certificate of excellence that all governments like to have because it's part of your self-reporting requirement. So that's why in that you will still get it as long as you meet all the reporting requirements that are required.
So, since we don't have some of the things that you feel that should be in place, I mean, how reasonable are y'all gonna be to let's get our audit completed? Because it sounds like you're not gonna get some things; they don't exist.
Well, that's where I was going to end my spiel, if you will, on my time, is that we're here to be a partner. So whatever roadblocks or problems that we are discovering at this time, we're here to help work with the city to come up with some type of resolution to make it better so that when the next audit cycle happens, there's another check that's been put into play to make sure that regardless who is sitting in chair on either side, that the city's work is still being completed. So right now, we're working with Mr. Jackson and his team, trying to come to some middle ground of resolution so that whatever support documentation that has been provided, one is provided is accurate. Two, we're given the opportunity to really vet it and test it to make sure that whatever is in those reports it's valid and it is in sound accordance with the standards. So that's how we're trying to resolve some of those issues where there isn't a reconciliation or the document hasn't been provided, where we're trying to give Mr. Jackson and his team either examples of or points of clarification on what should be provided so that they can turn around and complete the analysis so that we can come back and audit it.
Thank you. Is Councilman Coleman?
I was gonna go to him next. Councilmember Carn?
I had a couple of questions. First thing, Mayor, I would expect the standard order of discussion with regards to agenda items continue with this meeting. If I have to make that in a motion, so be it. But I don't see any reason why there wouldn't be that standard, but that's what I expect. Unless you have an objection to it, then we can call for a vote on it.
Sir, I'm sorry. What are you trying to say? I'm not clear on what you're saying.
City manager, city attorney, is my audio coming in clearly?
Sir, your audio is coming in clear. I'm not sure I understood what you meant. Could you restate it?
Mayor, the standard order of discussion is 1, 2, 3, and 4, as always. There's no reason why that should change unless, do I need to make a motion for that to continue?
Sir, I would just, in honoring the
I would
fact
like
that-
to be recognized in the standard
you
order of
asked-
discussion.
You asked the question,
as with
and
the
so I
agenda.
was responding, and so if, I would appreciate it if you didn't cut me off. I was just handling the people in the room. If that's a huge problem for you, we can absolutely go to you next. please, go
Mayor,
ahead with your
that wouldn't
questioning.
put me next. I would have been second, actually.
I understand,
And I
sir.
want to make sure that that's the standard going forward here.
Sir,
that all right?
Please go ahead and ask your questions.
I did not get an answer to my question. Is the standard order okay with with discussion items going forward?
Sir, we will go in the order as 1, 2, 3, 4 moving forward. Please ask your questions on this matter.
Okay. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. A couple of things I did have, and thank you for coming for the discussion here. I had inquired several times with the past city manager, Stanley Hawthorne, about my concerns with the reconciliation process and a couple of processes up there that were going on. So I wanted to state for the record, number one, that these issues predate our current city manager, Dr. Adida Daring, number one. Number two, I want to state for the record and for the public that all of these issues additionally predate our new finance director, Mr. Jackson. This is precisely one of the reasons why I insisted that we look at another auditing firm. It was for this very same reason, 16 years of service with the same outfit, and everything was pretty much hunky-dory when I suspected we did have issues and serious issues that were occurring that I was concerned about. So these issues around redundancy were another concern I brought up with the former city manager, that we had none up there. So it's important that we're looking at this and that we're addressing this now that we're able to. So I'm looking forward to reading the full report, and we want to make sure we get you every document that we have in our possession. So thank you so much.
Sir, I have some questions.
Yes,
in-
Madam Mayor.
In November, we received a letter from your firm that the agreed upon deadline for completion was December 31st, and you anticipated, because there were open items, that we would not receive the audit until mid-February.
So to respond to that, Madam Mayor, since that time, it was then discovered some of the issues that are laid out in the new letter that we received that are still being worked on or trying to discover where it is, if it exists. So I can't audit what I don't have. And so whatever has been provided to us, we have already started to review and provide follow-up questions. So again, that was the intent, that once we came, it was agreed upon by the previous interim finance director that stated, hey, we will have all of these items by this date, and that didn't happen. And so it was then asked that, hey, we getting a new finance director in, let him get his settling in, and let's pick up where that person left off at. And so here we are now. I'm trying to work as best we can with Mr. Jackson to now move this audit further along than what it had been. So, that's just where we are. We have weekly status meetings and all of that. So it's just a matter of trying to either find where it exists, or we're giving them guides on how to present it so that we can then audit it. And again, that takes time. So it's not, here you go. They have to go back and do the due diligence and review what has been already in the system, and then turn it back around to us so that we can then go back and validate it. So it takes time. It's not give it to me today and then tomorrow my team and I and say, hey, that's not how that works. We have to have allowed time for his team to pull the support, the journal entries, whatever support that is associated with it. And then there's that conversation of back and forth, right? So it just takes time. And so I don't know how else to put it, but that whatever has been provided, we've either already looked at it, reviewed it, provided inquiry, waiting for follow-up, and then Mr. Jackson and the accounting manager are now trying to help them so that we can get the audit done.
Understood. My concern is that the last correspondence we received from you said mid-February. So why is it 6 weeks later that we're hearing from you again? Why didn't we hear from you in mid-February about some of these concerns? My concern is that we get to May 31st and then we hear something the first week of June that you still need additional information. And this has to be done. We have issues that will hold up state funding if this does not get done. So how can we, as a body, ensure that we are receiving prompt and timely information from you to ensure that this stays on track and finishes up on May 31st?
Well, now that the transition of whomever is sitting in this role as finance director has been settled, the goal is to have more accurate and timely conversation with whomever is running the department. So we are now meeting more than once a week. I meet with Mr. Jackson probably every other day prior to a formal status meeting where the city manager, the county manager, and the finance director is there along with my team, so that we can then have in those discussions, giving him and his team the time that needs to be given to them to try to help resolve whatever inquiry or roadblock that we're assisting. So now that this role is now stable, then there will be more, I would say, up-to-date communication with you all as those charged with governance.
So when can we expect our next communication in regard to this?
I will need to defer and work with the new finance director and city manager once we've taken an inventory of what the new latest round of outstanding items are. And as soon as we have that, we will turn that around as soon as we can. And right now, I can't give you a definitive date, right? So I would say we would need to have another round of status meetings. And at the end of the next status meeting, then we can collectively as a group determine what needs to be communicated to you as those charged with governance.
Or have those status meetings been set at this time?
Yes, they
When
have
is the
been
next
set.
status meeting?
We have our weekly status meetings on Wednesdays at 3:00.
So we should anticipate some level of communication after the next status meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Mayor?
And Mr. Jackson, I have a question for you.
Okay.
You expressed some concerns in regard to how the audit was going.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling comfortable at this point?
Feeling frustrated at this point simply because the sense of urgency to move this audit along has been an issue for me. One of the things, going back to the single point of failure, for example, the accounting manager, she was carrying the heavy load for the audit for some time, while also doing the check runs and accounts payable process each week. And so we've tried to levy those responsibilities and get me more involved. I've been very hands-on at this point, even working this past Saturday to get some documents over to the auditor. So it's something that I'm taking very, very seriously to move us along and to get us an audit report sooner than later.
All right, thank you. Mayor Pro
Mayor?
Tem?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I definitely feel your pain because I myself have been trying to get a simple financial report since last year. And it wasn't until Mr. Jackson was here and settled in that I finally got that last week. So I do know that it has been very, very troublesome over the last year to get reporting and the information. And I am very glad that we are moving up to a standard that we may not be accustomed to, but it's going to make us better as a city. My question is, the certificate of excellence, if we are late with the audit, can you still get a certificate of excellence? I've got a couple of questions now.
Oh, we over the time limit.
I know. Well, no, we said we were gonna,
No, we passed it.
we said more than 12 minutes for this.
We said 20.
20? Oh, okay,
We passed
all right.
that.
Well, can we just finish this question?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
So again, it will require a little bit of research to confirm that. But again, as long as you guys submit the required documentation for the certificate of excellence, that should not stop the city from getting the award. And if you recall, I think it was mentioned previously, last year's audit didn't finish till January of 2024, and I think the year before that it was even later than that one. And I believe in Mr. Jackson's office, the symbol was there for those years that the audit was late. So again, it's more about making sure that the reporting requirements are in accordance with the GASB standards. The main concern I think as far as the timing of that is not so much the issue, is more making sure that reporting is in accordance with what the governmental standards require that the ACFR be in accordance with. I hope that kind of answers
Yeah,
your
yeah,
question.
and just to add on, I'm glad you said that because I was going to state the fact that our audit had been late for the past 2 years, even before I was on this council. And the only reason that we may be in danger of losing state funding at this time is not because this audit may be late, but it's because we had an audit late 2 years prior. So you don't lose state funding over one late audit. You have to have a couple of years of late audits, and then you don't qualify. So I just wanted to put that on the record.
Mayor Pro Tem, that's actually incorrect in that because we do not have an audit submitted right now, we cannot receive our state funding. If we submit it, we can get it. But the late audits don't have an impact. It is the fact that we don't have a FY24 audit submitted to the state that we can't get funding right now.
So Mayor, are you saying that when we submitted the 2022 audit in 2024, of January of 2024, that we received state funding that year?
Yes, ma'am.
So then why could we not, if we are not late, if we are not yet late, it's not January of 2026, and if we get this in this year, how would that impede upon our state funding?
Right now, we are ineligible to receive state funding because we have not turned in our audit for FY24.
So how did we receive state funding from the 2022 audit? I'm hearing that the audit did not make it in, not the 2023, the audit, an audit that was for year 2022 did not make it in until 2024.
That's incorrect.
Can you clear, you said what was late, what, was it 2023 that didn't make it until?
Based on the ACFR that is published, the auditor's opinion was dated January of 2024 for FY 2023s, but I don't recall the date of the auditor's opinion for 2022s, but I do know it was beyond the time frame.
Okay, so the audit that we're working on right now
Is
is
the
our
FY 2024.
2024.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But we have been late for 2 straight years before now.
Based on what's in the ACFR, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were in January. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Agenda item 2, presentations, Diamonds in the Making, Workforce and Entrepreneurial Development Academy, presented by Miss Tiffany Nicole and sponsored on behalf of Councilwoman Tracy Arnold.
So, Miss Tiffany had she had something else that came up. Is it possible that we can hear something else in its place? I have
Do
two.
you want to remove it or you want to just and put it on
I
the
want
next
to punt it to
workshop?
the next meeting.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to number 3.
Item number 3, Comprehensive Plan Update Assistance, presented by Carrie Stevens, Program Manager, Community Development Department, Atlanta Regional Commission.
Would there be an objection from the body to fold into the style mob time into the comp plan discussion? This is going to be a longer one as well.
Excuse, can you say that again?
So Style Mob University had a presentation, excuse me, the second item to talk about, workforce development.
But they're not here.
But she's not here. And so I think that the question is whether or not if the time could be used with the ARC presentation.
Anyone have a problem with that?
I'm okay with it, except we take out the minutes that this ran over. How long did this one run over, Ms. Clerk? The audit, how long it ran over?
Sir, I would guess, I wasn't keeping track, approximately 5 minutes.
All right. So they got 15 minutes. to
Council,
present.
thank you very much. I'm Brian Hooker,
Did
Economic
you, sir,
Development.
excuse me, you have 15 minutes to present.
Yes, sir, 15 minutes to present. I just wanted to say that in the read-in, I failed to add that this item was sponsored by Councilwoman Tracy Arnold, so I just wanted to add that. I'm here to, with my colleague in planning, to talk about the comprehensive plan, how important it is both to the planning department and to the economic development department. So at you all's request, we've invited Ms. Carrie Stevens from Atlanta Regional Commission to come. Would you, Madam Clerk, pull up her slides? She is here to give you kind of the skinny on what comprehensive planning is and does and what we've done in the past few years as a city, so that you all can weigh in on what we want to do for the next update, because the next update for our comprehensive plan is required in 2026, by October of 2026. And so we don't have any funds for this currently in the requested fiscal 26 budget, and that's one of the reasons that we wanted to bring this up. There is a ARC sponsored option that doesn't cost us anything. We did that last year, and Ms. Stevens is going to explain that, the value of it, and the concerns with doing that multiple years in a row. So with that, Ms. Stevens.
Well, good evening, Mayor, City Council, City staff. Again, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and talk about comprehensive plans with y'all. My name is, again, Carrie Stevens. I'm a program manager with the Atlanta Regional Commission. I have been with the commission for about actually just 5 years at the end of March. So I'm excited to have been with the agency that long. My background is mostly in local government. So I've worked with a number of local governments around the region, and I've also worked in consulting. But at the Atlanta Regional Commission, I've worked on a number of comprehensive plans from around the region, such as Chattahoochee Hills, City of Palmetto, City of Kennesaw, Union City. So I've done them all over the region. So I've had a lot of good experience with comprehensive plans. But as many of you know, the Atlanta Regional Commission is very interested in our vision is making one great region. So we want to be involved with all of our communities, our cities, and our counties. Next slide, please. And I'll condense some of my slides because I know you guys want us to move forward a little bit. So if you want me to move around, just let me know. So I did want to go over, review some of the planning fundamentals with comprehensive plans, understand some of our state requirements that we have, look at some of our plan development approaches at the Atlanta Regional Commission, and talk about best practices. So background and fundamentals, next slide. Why do we plan? We plan for lots of different reasons. We want to make sure that we have a correct community vision. We want to look at our needs and our opportunities, and of course our challenges and our assets. We want to make sure that we're utilizing public funds in the best way that we can, and partnering with our private partners in the best way that we can. And we definitely want to do comprehensive planning because the state says we have to. So we have to do this every 5 years. And this maintains your qualified local government status as an agency. So here are just a laundry list of things that you are eligible for if you have your qualified local government status. Some big ones are downtown revolving loan funds that you can use for your businesses. CDBG funds also tied to this. Historic preservation funds are often tied to this. There's a lot of great programs that you can take advantage of if you keep your qualified local government status, but if you don't, you are no longer eligible for these funds. So next slide, please. So this kind of gives you the overall picture of local planning. Comprehensive plan being your fundamental document that establishes your foundation and your vision, comes up with your needs, and then one of the really most important parts about your comprehensive plan is your community work program. That takes your needs, your opportunities, and your vision and moves those into an implementation matrix where you decide what your program priorities are and how you'd like to implement your staff time and your funding, and it establishes where you can utilize different programs and when you can get technical assistance from other agencies. We also have special studies, and oftentimes your community work program will identify special studies to implement your programs and priorities. Development regulations, many times during your comprehensive planning process, you look at your land use map, it no longer works for your community. You define your land uses all over your community and then determine that you might need to change your zoning. So that would become one of your priority projects moving forward over the 5-year time frame. And then investment tools, we look at ARC, and consultants also look at identifying funds, whether it be through SPLOST, grants, anywhere we can find additional funds to help the community move forward. The next slide. So state requirements for comp plans. The top row that you can see is required for all communities. That's your vision and goals, your needs and opportunities, your community work program, which I just alluded to, and then identifying what type of broadband resources that you have. Required for some are a capital improvement element, excuse me, and land use, economic development, transportation, and housing. I don't think that you collect impact fees in the city of College Park, so you're not required to do the CIE, but the others that you are required to do in your plan. So next slide, please. We also at ARC look at a lot of different other options in your comprehensive plan. Target areas, public safety, historic preservation, infrastructure. So not everyone's community plan has all of these optional elements because it doesn't apply, but we'll work with your staff to determine which elements apply and are most effective in your community. So next slide. Elements requiring an update every 5 years. Again, your needs and opportunities, your broadband, your land use, report of accomplishments. What that is it takes your community work program. You look at what you've done over the course of 5 years and determine whether it's been completed, whether it's no longer a priority for you, whether it's underway, or whether you just like to remove it for a variety of reasons. So it gives you kind of just a worksheet to see how you've done over the last 5 years. And then as part of state law, regional commissions, if we are asked to do your comprehensive plan, we are required to assist you with needs and opportunities, broadband, vision and goals, your report of accomplishments, and your community work program. One thing that you notice here that is not required for a regional commission to do is your land use planning. But at ARC, we do assist with land use planning when we do these comp plans. So next slide. So sample ARC approach. You can go to the next slide. So before 2012, there was a whole different set of regulations. And so now we've moved past that. So we help with the required elements. We also give you the opportunity, as I said, to look at that menu of optional elements and assist you with that and give you one single deliverable. So we create the entire plan, which includes the history of your community, some of the priorities, and then all the things that are required by DCA to maintain your qualified local government status. And again, this is a 5-year plan that's required by DCA. So next slide, please. So I'm not going to read all of these different things, but the local community has to have a designee, an appropriate staff member that is designated to assist us moving through the process. You're required to assist us with contacting your community stakeholders and identifying who those stakeholders are, assisting us with engagement activities, and then also providing us a facility that is appropriate for these type of meetings, whether it be a room like this, or it's one of your community rooms, or if it's a facility when you're going to have a special event or something of that nature. So there's a number of things on here as well, but those are the main things that the local community assists with. And then we at ARC are responsible for having, again, a designee from our office. We assist you with legal notices and any other type of notices that you might provide to the public. We help you with your community engagement in that we will create a web page for you. We'll also create flyers if you need those, some other type of collateral. What we do provide at ARC is 2 steering committee meetings, 1 in person and 1 virtual, and then 1 open house or public event. And by that I mean, depending upon what the community would like us to do, sometimes communities respond very well to a meeting that you might have at City Hall or a community center, but some really respond better to a pop-up event where it's more of a festival. So we'll come to the festival and get community engagement like that. But based on our ability to provide services to your community, those are the 3 main events that we do with the city. So if there's additional outreach that the city would like to do, that's something that the city would have to provide by themselves. So next slide, please. So long and the short of the schedule, it's usually between 12 and 14 months. Sometimes communities come to us a little later in the game and we can move it a little bit quicker. But as you can see, we can do the first public hearing, then we usually do a steering committee meeting. That kind of gives the foundation for that particular community. We then usually do our open house, do a second steering committee meeting, and based on all of that input and other input that the city might have given us during that duration, we develop your plan. We have the second public hearing. And then DCA, the Department of Community Affairs, then has 30 days to review that plan and make any comments. And then hopefully comes back with no comments. That's what we always want, but occasionally they do have comments. And then we make those changes if needed, and then it's adopted. It needs to be adopted by the city by October 31st to maintain your qualified local government status. So next slide, please. So best practices. As you can see here, there's a few options for communities. If any community in the region asks ARC as the regional commission to do their plan, we are obligated to do so and happy to do so as well. But I will say that we are not able to provide all of the services that a consulting firm might. They have a much larger team than we do. They can provide a much more robust public participation plan than we can. So we look at all these different things on the list, but we provide the basic required information and services that are required by the state. And then we try to provide some other services, but they are limited for us. So next slide, please. So we usually say if you need a 10-year update, if you've already gone through ARC one time, you may want to think about, and again, it's a complete option for your community, but you may want to think about looking into a consultant or a mixture of a consultant and in-house with your staff to get a little bit more robust of a vision. If you're at the 5-year mark and you don't feel like there's been a lot of changes in your community, or you don't have the funds, then ARC is often a good option. So I can go to the next slide. I think I just went through that. So these are a lot of helpful resources that we have here, just through DCA, local planning requirements, and I can send any of these to you if you're interested in seeing them. But that's basically what it is. And comprehensive planning is such a fundamental document for your community moving forward. That you really have to think what's going to be the best fit. As always, ARC is really excited to work with communities and to help you, but sometimes we aren't able to provide as much service as you might need in your community depending upon where you are in planning. So with that, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem.
I don't have, thank you so much. It was very thorough, your presentation. I have a question for Brian or Lanice. Okay, so ARC has done a comprehensive plan for us, and the one that we're currently in, I believe, was completed by your organization. And we have a lot of changes in the direction that we are taking this city right now. So kind of asking you now, and I mean, anybody can answer, but I wanted you to come up. What would be the most advantageous for us as a city right now to because I'm hearing what you're saying, and that we would be limited. In order for us really to have a comprehensive plan, what do you suggest is best for us at this time?
You want to go first?
I'll go first. We're at the 10-year update. Our first one our comprehensive plan was in 2016. We'll do for a brand new one in 2036, but we are at the 10-year spot where we'll be having asked ARC to do it for another 5 years. So things have changed since that the previous update in 2021. I would recommend that we do take a look at our comprehensive plan update and see where we need to add. What's working for us, what's not, what's encouraging development, what's not encouraging development, our housing strategy, our economic development strategy, land use are all tied together. With workforce development and everything. So I would think taking a route that's a little bit more, that can dive a little bit deeper to get into some deeper levels of community engagement would be advantageous for us.
Okay. You want it, Brian?
And I concur. When we started reviewing this and we looked at what the different options are, from an economic development standpoint, many consultants and folks who are looking to locate, one of the things they review is your comprehensive plan to see where you are. So we recommend let's take a harder look at doing a consultant-assisted plan if that can fit within our budgetary needs.
Thank you.
Councilmember Carn?
We out of time.
All right, thank you. Couple of things I will say, and I definitely appreciate the ARC coming in and giving us some guidance and direction on this thing. I think I've gone through 3 comprehensive plans in College Park. And, one of the things I've learned over the years is that if we keep following the same cookie cutter format, it's kind of hard to make some progress. I think that we need to reimagine this comp plan and do things slightly a bit differently here. There are a few things that we overlooked in every comp plan, and those are some of our big deficiencies in the city. One of the reasons I think we're starting to turn a corner is because we're looking at some of the deficiencies. Last year was tremendous in looking at some of the deficiencies. Every single comp plan that we have undertaken have overlooked particular neighborhoods. In theory, if we approach our comp plan from a needs-based improvement hierarchy, meaning we commit to fixing the areas with the most damage and the most neglect, I think that will help in terms of bringing up the entire community and the entire city as a whole. So I'll just cut to the chase here. Every single comp plan that we've had in this city has focused on the same areas and kind of the same direction. It's focused on the same parks, the same green space, the same business areas and neighborhood areas. Main Street, Virginia Avenue, the Woodward Academy corridor, and the hospitality areas. And that's pretty much been it, every single comp plan. It focused on the same neighborhood homeowners, which is good, and fine, but the only areas the comp plan never focused on or took any significant action on were those most vulnerable areas in College Park. And that's something I think that we need to look at here. Out of the 4 required plan elements that I looked at in your document, nearly no consideration over the years has been given towards these particular corridors. Now, we all know our corridors in our areas. And city manager, I know you know well, police chief knows well, and everyone else that's been in this city for years. The 2 areas of town that have the most blight and the most issues and are most in need of the community improvements are probably the Godby Road Old National area, and secondly, the Camp Creek corridor. I would like some attention in terms of these 2 study areas because these have I guess the quality of life in those areas are a bit lacking compared to the quality of life in other areas throughout the city. So again, we need to focus and refocus and relook at how we're doing things. In terms of the community work program requirements, question, Where is city unemployment most prevalent? Well, you guessed it, within our rental community and within those two corridors. In terms of advertising and how we do this, I do agree we need to look at a consultant to come in and help out. If there's a way we can mix both the ARC's expertise as well as a consultant, I think we need to look at that. We talked about collateral in terms of material and advertising online. That's great. But we need different types of collateral if we're going to get input from the neighborhoods and the areas where if we improve those, the entire city turns around. And I would suggest the different venues. That was a great idea. The festival type community engagement venues, I think, are important and better. I would suggest a community event such as the Kids Fest, for instance. Why? Because most of our rental community, which, by the way, is 75% of our city population, our rental community has the overwhelming majority of all of our children. Why is that important? Because those events like that bring the parents out that we want to reach out to and get their input in terms of direction. Again, if we start at the bottom, it raises the boats, it raises the tide for everybody. You know, we work on our issues in terms of our comp plan from a neighborhood-friendly perspective. I want to look at some needs-based focus, you know, and I think that's going to affect and make the quality of life better for everybody. You know, we have to address the elephants in the room in our comp plan to better this city. You know why residents' insurance rates are higher? Simply because of their zip code in 30337 or 30349? Well, I'll tell you why, but I know Dr. Manuel knows why. I think Mr. Hooker knows why. Because we got to improve some of the core things that we need to look at. And those things need to be included in our comp plan. So I think it's well needed, but I don't think we need to do it the same way we've always done it in the neighborhoods that are doing really great, in the communities and blocks that are well off, and at the places and locations where there are not a whole lot of problems. I think we need to look at it from a different perspective so that we can better the standards in the city overall. Because if we bring down our crime rates, if we work a comp plan based on eliminating our blight and issues, that's going to raise the bar for our school test scores, for our insurance rates, for our reputation regionally, and everything else. So I want us to look at this thing a little bit differently and work from the bottom up on this thing. So that's all I got for now, but I'm looking forward to this comp plan, including and having charrettes in places that we normally would not have them, where the need is most prevalent, and we need to hear those issues and things we need to change from the other part of the community. So that's all I'll say on that for now.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you. And thank you for coming to present this information to us today. I appreciate it. You mentioned that you've worked with College Park in the past to help with our comp plan, and that there is a cost. I think I heard Mr. Hooker mention that we haven't budgeted for the cost that's involved with developing or updating, and we possibly need to also engage with a consultant to help us through this process. So my question is, what type of cost are we looking at? What's the average?
Thank you, Councilwoman Arnold. We do have the free option available, as you heard. So that is available to us. We have not, in the economic development budget, I don't know if it's anywhere else, placed any funds for a consultant-driven version of the update of the comprehensive plan. I've heard numbers ranging from $150,000 to $400,000 for a well-done consultant-driven plan.
Okay. So it sounds like we probably, since the recommendation, I think that I'm hearing is that we probably want to leverage a consultant, that we probably need to consider budgeting or setting aside some dollars for this exercise.
I couldn't hear what you said. How much did you say?
No, I didn't say how much.
Oh,
I'm just saying that we, when we go through, that we need a budget. We need to make sure that we have a budget in place to help us through this exercise, since that seems like to be what I think I'm hearing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Councilmember Gay?
I'm gonna be very brief, but I want to not caution, but remind my colleagues, we took a motion to be time sensitive. A lot of y'all questions can be sent to them by way of email or pick up the phone and call. Six more items on here that deserve an equal amount of time. Second thing I say is maybe you should bring this to a workshop. I like to see the current comprehensive plan side by what you're proposing before we get into talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And I want to be clear about what's in our 2021 comprehensive plan. The second goal that we had for our comprehensive plan in 2021 was that College Park will reinvest in its historically underserved and neglected communities, like those along Godby Road and Old National Highway, for equitable redevelopment that benefits legacy residents and business owners. So I don't want everyone to have the impression that we are not talking about the whole of the city when we're doing these comprehensive plans. This has been part of the discussion, and we need, as a governing body and as those who are doing the work on a daily basis, to move forward on the goals that we have stated publicly are the ones that we hold dear and we want to advance. So, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 4, United Action for the Advancement of Humanity, Phase 1 reporting and Phase 2 request of funding presentation. Presenter, Dr. Chusalo. This item is sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I want to give you gratitude and thanks for your gift to allowing me to get through Phase 1. And there are several individuals here that's part of the team, stand up, that has helped us not only complete Phase 1 at a minimum charge, but these individuals are going to help take us all the way to a different place that you may not have seen. But I want to thank all of you for your gift to me in believing in this dream I have, this passion. And so, without further ado, I want to take you through Phase 1 quickly. Phase 1, you all gave me $30,000 to create human culture and civic programming. And so one of our greatest focus was our Unity Day. And so I want to move further and have you look at the agreement that we signed. And I feel like we did a great job at accomplishing what we agreed to do. And I point out all the things we accomplished in such a short time and with a minimum amount of money. Currently, up until by the end of this month, we would have spent $39,000. And so we're still moving forward. And we're moving forward into Phase 2. Now, many of you probably didn't see what I was trying to show you. And I was trying to show you something that I didn't really see until it all unfolded. But I knew where I was going. And I want Dr. Vomelani to step forward and share what the vision is for College Park.
Thank you, Dr. Chusalo. I just want to follow the council's direction to move forward with accomplishing the goals that's within the comprehensive plan. I want to give some reason as to why Mayor and City Council should support and consider funding the request from United Action for Advancement of Humanity. United Action for the Advancement of Humanity further the accomplishments of the short and long-term goals of the City of College Park while offering green, environmentally friendly solutions. This is done through the Pedicab, the Ambassador Training Program, and now you hear more about the beloved community from Dr. Chusalo. Supporting United Action aligns with College Park's goal connecting and unifying the historic downtown, the GICC, and the 6 West development. College Park has committed to continuing investing in projects that accomplish this goal, capitalizing on maintaining a city with a small town feel and fun to visit. The pedicab and the ambassador program will help College Park accomplish this goal, offering creative, environmentally friendly, quiet, green transportation. Supporting United Action is the furtherance of College Park's effort and goal to reduce the noise, the carbon footprint, and the negative impact from climate control. All this can be done with the pedicab. Linking the economic, another goal, linking the economic potential from the GICC convention, sports, and expos to downtown businesses, thereby encouraging economic growth in the historic district by linking GICC to downtown through the Camp Creek Bridge. Supporting the pedicab ambassador training program and the community and the beloved community will help College Park accomplish this. And last but not least, getting the city and resident ready for the big stage, for the big platform, for the World Cup. The ambassador program will do an outstanding job of getting our citizens ready so that when our visitors come from around the world, they will have a good, positive experience in College Park. Yes, supporting United Action request for funding is in alignment with the furtherance of College Park goal to create a global, vibrant, environmentally friendly city that's fun to visit. Thank you for letting me share that.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We're in phase 2. We just gave a good picture. I want to tell you just about the beloved community. With Dr. King saw the call, there's 2 calls. The first call is, he said, live out the American creed. The second call was, hey, we got to stop judging by the content or by the color of our skin, or by our content. We are in a position in phase 2 to be the model city, to live out the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King. And our pedicabs, I want to introduce you to the owners of